Good morning, Optimist. Today is Monday, August 7th, 2023, and market's doing okay today. Not overly bearish or overly bullish, but we did get a nice trade right before the stream. It was two contracts, total out to about 205 after fees. So, pretty good trade. Let's go ahead and jump on in. Take a look there. So you see, here's the trade there we took here. We got in at 22 and then picked up another contract in 1975. My original sell order was for 24, but I lowered it down to 23 just in case this ended up as hitting resistance and pulling back. So we got out at 23, two contracts. And I wish I had kept it on for 24 because it would have been worth a little bit more, but that's okay. Up 205 on the day. Down in the account though, because I did trade this account brand new on Friday and pretty much got wrecked on Mazer's drop that happened at 11 o'clock on Friday afternoon of trading. So here we are, taking a look at the 1 minute chart, finding some resistance around 45.25 in the ES. And if we jump into Bookmap, we can see that's pretty consistent. We got 26 up here as pretty hard line in the sand. It's not overly hard. There's about 500 contracts there in total, getting up through 26 and 27. You can see that's where the real hard line is. That's where about 1,000 contracts have accumulated up at that point. So we may get a pullback. If we get a pullback, I'd be looking for one to 2250, which is where this about 1,200 contracts is sitting there as support down there at 2250. But I don't know if we're going to pull back that far. It looks like we may just pull back and bounce off the 9 exponential, the 9 EMA. But we are hitting some resistance here, so it's kind of in a little bit of a sketchy zone. But if we do rip up, I think we got room up to about 30. Which is the top of the Bollinger Band, but as far as the resistance on Bookmap goes, we're looking at 27. There's a flag here. Flag, though, on this declining TTM. So could go either way, but my thinking is that we're kind of in a bullish day today, somewhat in bullish trend. So we may push up toward the highs of the day up there at 2750. 27 being that high up there, or that resistance zone up there. So I'm a little sketchy to take the trade. What's up, Kevin? Good to see you. Good to see you. Today we're just going to focus on enjoying the ride. I'm only going to take trades. I'm going to attempt to anyway. Only take trades that I really know and understand. But occasionally that doesn't always work out. I'm going to take a look at the 10-second chart here and see what's happening with this, because this will kind of give us some determination whether or not we're going to get continuation or decline. So on the 10-second chart, you can see we're kind of bouncing along the EMA 35. Pulled down to 24.75 and immediately ripped up, passed through 26. Here's that test. So this flag did play out. And there's the push. Trade away going very slow. There's the push on that flag. So I was a little uneasy about it, just because I didn't want to see this pull back down towards the VWAP on just like a dumping down of contracts. Yeah, we just kind of broke through that resistance. Next resistance goes at 29. Is kind of big resistance zone. 30's heavy though. 30's at 1,700 contracts, and then up from there, we got even more. There's 29. Kind of wish I took that. Feel a little FOMO, so I'm gonna release that feeling. Trailing max goes at 1167 out of 2,000. I'm in elite trader funding right now. And new high of the day up there at 29. So we might look for a pullback to about 26.50 and maybe a bounce off the 9 exponential. Resistance at 29 is there, but not overly heavy. It's about 700 contracts. 30 though is 1,500. So there's a lot of contracts between 29 and 30. I'd really like to see a bit of a pullback. Let's see what the buy and sells looks like comparatively. There's about 1,500 more buys than sells in total. Currently, buyers are in control. Not a ton of contracts chilling down here at the bottom, so it's kind of a crapshoot where it's at right now. At least for me, for my own strategy. This was a very nice move, though, right there. The one that we took. Wow, Trade is like excessively slow to load my charts. Normally, I don't have this much of an issue. Like usually, there's a little bit of an issue here and there, but the time it's taking to load each individual chart is massive. It's like 12 seconds. 2, 3, 4. That one took about 4 seconds for the 3-minute chart. So we actually just got a 3-minute. This original trade that I took was actually a cyan switch on the 3-minute, and I was not aware of that. But it was also an ABCD setup on the 3-minute. Check the 5. Getting some pullback now off of that high, which is good. 2250 is the 5-minute 9 exponential. Need some nice sell-off there. That's what I wanted to see. So we're pulling back to about 25. I'm going to check in on the 1-minute chart. Small bounce off the 25 or off 45.25. Might go for some 3 and 3s if we get a setup for it. The resistance goes at 28. Take a look at Bookmap. $28.50 looks to be about what we're looking at there. TT, I'm at negative 1.1. Considering joining the bid here, there's a little too much resistance at 28. It's like 1,300 contracts, a little red. I don't think it'll be overwhelming, but I kind of want to see a cyan switch on the 10-second chart before I enter, before I take a long entry. I'm going to grab it now if I can. So I'm trying to get an entrance at 26.25. Looks like it's going to run without me.
Order filled.
Entered 4 ticks higher than I wanted to at 27.25. Looking to get out at 28, which was that resistance, but it looks like that's kind of alleviated some. There's that pullback to 26.50. Ooh, there's 26.25. And pulled back pretty heavily off that. False break there. I wish I could have got filled at my original intended entry. I took it a little too far. Now we're pulling back way too heavily, and I'm gonna have to cut this, which is really whack. Yeah, very much false break on that. I'm gonna check this on the 20-second chart before I take the cut. Our entry's way too high. 27.25. Yeah, unfortunately I chased that. And it stepped down on us. 47.50, down 450 in this trade. Just trying to get out with a micro profit. I don't even know if I'm going to have the capability of doing that. Watching this 20-second chart pretty closely, trying to see if we get a little bit of build back up, but it doesn't look like we're going to. TTM's at negative 1.7. I'm going to have to see this get above 25. Resistance goes back at 28. I had got in at this 3 contracts at 27.25. I'm gonna look to average down slightly.
Order filled.
Took one at 25.50. Trailer max at 747. To keep a close eye on that. I've intended exit at 27.25 now. I kind of wish I went into this with a single contract. Then I wouldn't feel so bad about averaging in. I'm gonna have to cut this and really just grew my loss with that additional contract. Tim's at negative 1.1 on red. Yeah, definitely. That was a bad trade, like a bad entrance on my part. So 0.94 on the CTM on the 20-second side. I've got the sell order at 27.25. which would be break even on these 3 contracts and positive on that one. 28 looks like our line in the sand. I wonder if we could push for 2750 and make everything a positive. We'll give it a shot. It's a little risky. We did get the cyan switch here and a crossover. It tapped our sell order, but has not filled yet.
Order
There
filled.
we go. We got it. That was a very scary trade, and in my opinion, a very bad trade. So we ended up positive, but that was not a good trade on my behalf. And I want to say I apologize for subjecting you to such awful trading in that particular moment. Grateful that we got out though with some positive. So I haven't followed up on any of these comments because I've been in that trade for a little while. By the way, thank you everybody for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you for everybody who decided to pick up a evaluation over the weekend. I love and appreciate all of you guys. I hope that you guys use the community link in order to support the channel. If not, then it would have ended up going straight to the company itself and would not have supported this channel. But I do appreciate you being here no matter what. Yeah, personally, I Ninja Trader was overly complicated to me, my own self. I spent a lot of time, like I probably watched about 15 hours of videos, and at a certain point I was just like, man, I just want to trade. And so I just ended up never actually taking a trade in my Ninja Trader account. I had it for almost a month, and I ended up just spending the money on it and did nothing with it. Didn't even take a trade. Didn't even attempt because I couldn't get everything set up in a way that like just made sense. So it was just pretty challenging for me. It needs to set up funding using Thinkorswim. That would be awesome, but they would need to add seconds. So because right now TD Ameritrade only offers 1 minute and above, so they would have to add the ability to do seconds, I think. Gotta quit looking at the individual candle size and only at my volume profile. Careful, the NQ is battling around the 200 EMA. Okay, we'll take a look at that. I forgot to say that, yeah, we have some new subs. Yes, we're up at like 348 now. I really do appreciate everyone. Did my codes work? Did my code work? Do you mean the Apex discount code? Because that did. Signed up, but gotta wait for verification. Yeah, getting easier the more I use it. Yes, the Apex thing did show up. I do very much appreciate Shiny. So this did end up ripping up. That once again, that was a pretty bad trade on my part. My intention was to get hit here and go to 28, which it did actually end up going 28. And I kind of wish that I had left it on and gone for a little bit more profit. But after this pullback, by this point, we were down $712, and so that was like, it's just the ratio, like the profit loss ratio just didn't make sense. And frankly, I was considering cutting it this entire time, but the reason why I didn't was because of this Bollinger Band here, and because we were stacking upward on the TTM over time. So that's the reason why I didn't end up cutting this. So, but it's okay. We got a reasonable trade out of it. It just wasn't a very good trade. We're up 325.52 on the day in on the account today. Trailing max at 1289. I traded this on Friday and got caught in a contract dump pretty much right when I hit enter on my very first trade and lost almost $1,000 on the first trade. And by the second trade, I did lose over $1,000 on my very first moments trading this on Friday. And so I was like, wow, I was immediately done. And so here we are. I think we can pull this one out of the negative zone and back it into the upper territory. Coming up and tapping the high. Oh yeah, the NQ. Trade of 8 is kind of slow today. I might log out and log back in, see if it makes it faster. Yeah, there's that 200 moving average right there. Actually, you can see on the NQ, there's the approach of a 5200 cross with the TTM scaling towards the upside. So there may be potential for this to push up again. But you can see it's really respected the Bollinger Band today, with the one exception of this breaking it. Outside of that, it's ran into resistance at the band each and every time, and right now this is running up into the band. So I would be a little hesitant to go long here, although it does look pretty decent in terms of the cyan switch and the 5200 moving average cross. But I don't fully trust the golden cross on this one, just because like you can see how sideways it's been. So, and in any case, I don't trade the NQ all that much. It's just too sketchy of a chart for me. It just tends to move around way too much. If the price breaks down from here, it would be one hell of a dead cat bounce. Oh no, dude. Bottom ticked it. I did that like all last week, dude. I was bottom ticking like several trades over and over. Looks like we're getting a real pullback on the ES. So this is on the 10-second chart that I'm watching right here. And this is pulling back to right down to about 26.75, 25 area. The 200 moving average goes to 25.25. So we could get a bounce off 25.25, but at this point, I almost feel like buyers are beginning to become exhausted. So for anyone who hasn't taken their profit yet on this climb up here, you can see the contracts on the sell side are getting real heavy. Right there at 30, we've got 2,300, and then from there it's just going up pretty substantially. At 30.75, we're at 27. 31, we're at almost 3,000 contracts. We just don't have that kind of support on the buy side, as you can see here. It's pretty outsized on the sell side at the moment. Now, granted, those are kind of higher up into the 30s, into the 45 30s, but nonetheless, I mean, you can usually sort of get a feel for the direction by taking a look at how outsized these are. And you can see the sell orders are significantly outsized over the buy, so definitely won't be going long here anytime soon. So that's sold off pretty heavily from 30. We've dropped down 6 points so far. Anytime I hear "so far," I sort of picture Homer and Bart. Bart's like, "This is the worst day." No, I think that's Lisa. She's like, "This is the worst day of my life," and Homer goes, "So far." I just think it's pretty funny. By the way, if y'all chilling, hanging out, make sure you like, subscribe, and Ring that bell for notifications. It does really help the channel out. We do got like 4 people watching, so if we get 4 likes, that'd be awesome. I know asking for 4 likes is pretty minimal, but account's up 3. Well, we're up 325.52 on the day. The account itself is down almost about $712 from last week. So last Friday, I had just started this evaluation. I only took like 2 trades and got an immediate rip down. Let's go to last week. Yeah, this was it here. It says 4, but I don't think that's correct. I think it was actually a 3, like 3 contracts and 1 or something. It was. Well, either way, I got wrecked. Today we're doing much better. We got some work to do. It's nice to see the green though. I don't feel confident taking a long up here though, as it is. Let's take a look at this on the 1 minute side. We did bounce off the EMA 50, the 50 EMA. But you can see our 9, 12, 26 crossover is moving towards the downside. I think that we may get some reversal on price action. Potentially down towards VWAP if this pulls back down, but we've got the 50 moving average there for support. We've got the lower of the Bollinger Band for support, and then we've got the VWAP for support on the 1 minute side. 10-second chart, though. It's looking like we're about to get a crossover towards the downside on the 5200. So I guess this was a decent move from 24. Basically, this red-yellow on the 10-second. It's about 6 ticks. Right now, I don't feel confident taking a long here, though. I wouldn't be looking long right now. Yeah, I agree. I definitely wouldn't be looking. I'm not looking long right here. Exactly. But yeah, I'm definitely not looking to go long right here. Right now, it's more or less like, all right, is it going to find support in this area, consolidate, and then potentially move up from there? Or are we just going to dump back down? So you can see we got the golden cross, or I should say the death cross, as they say. There was this support here off of 2375. Again, that's only on the 10-second chart, though, so I would be looking, if there's a long to be had, I would be looking at a 5200 cross again on the upside. Although it looks like it might hold support. Let's see what Bookmaps has to say. Bookmap. So we got about 1,000 contracts at 28, and then up from there. So this actually doesn't look overly bad for long now at this point. There's that 9, 12, 26 crossover on Science, which we do not have the 5200 crossover, so watch out for a price slam down potentially. Checking in on the 1 minute chart, which has gone red on TTM. Right now it's at the 50. I say that and it makes me feel like it makes me think to the 50, the 40, the 30. pulling down to 23 and a quarter. That's where that support line was, which is actually the VWAP on Bookmap. That's where they put the VWAP. I don't know why the VWAP here is so different. So definitely rejected that crossover there, and now it's on the downside. Dipping below, ever so slightly below that support line that we made. And as far as Bookmap is concerned, we're on the VWAP. You can see also too that the buyers and sellers have flipped. So they flipped once right here. About just a few minutes ago, about 15 minutes ago. And that was actually their flip. So they flipped right here about 15 minutes ago. They switched to more sells than buys, and we've been going more sells than buys since. And sellers are outpacing now buyers by almost 3,000 contracts, about 2,500 contracts. And you can see that it's starting to diverge a little bit more and more as well. So we make it even more pullback here. Looks like 20 is attempting to act as support. Let's get a little bit. As far as Bookmap is concerned, we've got about 300 contracts chilling there at 45.20. Total of 1,200 contracts. Hopping back up. I don't trust nothing right now, though. There's the VWAP there at 45.20. Little bounce off that. About 10 ticks. It's a nice bounce. Like that in and of itself is a good trade. Just like this in and of itself is a good trade. This right here is a great short. But right now, I'm just going to chill. Good luck, Tiny. Just follow your strategy. You'll be all right. Follow your strategy. Keep your emotions in check. Yeah, I think you'll be all right. Totally agree with this. I completely agree with this in every way. Because it very much looks like that's exactly what is happening. That we're getting these bounces that are 8 to 10 ticks. It look nice, you know. It look like, oh wow, it's like 10 ticks. It could totally reverse, but overall, there's significantly more sell volume than there is buy volume. 45.20, holding about 1,000 contracts at it in total, leading up to it. 45.20 itself is like 280. So if this fills here, we'll get a pretty strong push down, but I kind of wish that I could, like, there's like a really weird way of doing this. I wish I could just drag the chart around. To center it, I wish there was just like a way to center it easily. You have to like scroll like this and then scroll out and scroll back in. It's really weird. But nonetheless, Bookmaps is awesome. I need to make a review video on it. So there's that 45.20 filling. We might get a bounce here, but We've got more contracts sitting at 1775. We're definitely flipped on the seller side, that's for sure. Because there's just significantly more sells than buys, very much outsizing the buy orders. So nothing right now because I don't really short that often. I want to get good at it, but I'm also hesitant to take shorts. So um, I don't know the best way, Tiny, to see order flow, but I can tell you that Bookmap is free and it's available through TOS, and it's a little overwhelming to look at first, but it actually makes a lot of sense. And it does give you really strong information in regards to order flow of the ES only, unfortunately, but it's still, in my opinion, is a really valuable tool that you can get for free. That can tell you price will probably head to that liquidity. Mm. Like when you're looking at the chart and you're like, okay, we've got 1,000 contracts here at 23, 45, 23, then you can look at that and be like, okay, we might be able to push up towards 1,000 or something. Or I'm not sure what you mean by that can tell you that it will push to that liquidity. But do you mean like the heavy red right here where it was like it pushed straight down to this liquidity and bounced off of here? Because these right here, when you see these big red zones, often they act pretty heavily as support and resistance. Like we got an orange zone forming here at 18, 45, 18. And if that continues to build up, then there's a pretty good chance it will pull back down to 45, 18 and then bounce off it. At least that's what I see and perceive. I'm not sure if that's what you're saying. Yeah, totally makes sense. I felt this way. I used it every single day for a week, and I was like, this thing is, I don't even know how to use this, how it's valuable. Personally, for me, when I look at it, I'm like this. Like I'll show you exactly what I think when I look at this. See how the upper level is now changing to yellow, uh, and more liquor coming in there. Yeah, I can see more liquor coming in there. So if I jump into Bookmap, there's that bounce. So bounce off that red, acted as support. And now we're back above the volume weighted average price. So here's a new red forming. So 45.25, we might hit resistance there. So when I'm looking at this, I'm not looking at all this extra information or all this stuff here. I'm mainly looking for the reds. Because when I see the reds, I'm like, okay, I know that's going to be a heavy spot of resistance or support. And then I'm going to look at that, and then I'm going to look over here and see how many contracts are there. So that's the value I'm getting out of it. It's sort of a way to look at support and resistance without necessarily having to go through, number one, all of the technical analysis that one would have to go through. And number two, being able to see not just that technical analysis, but being able to see what the contract size looks like at that level. So how heavy is that resistance? And so that's what I'm using Bookmap for, because it's really, in my opinion, very helpful. Like we looked at this part here and I was like, okay, this is red. There's a pretty good chance we might get a bounce there if these contracts fill. They filled, it bounced, and we pulled back and bounced there 2 more times before popping up and actually getting above the VWAP for a second. So that's the real value that I see in Bookmap, personally. So when we look right here, you can see this is really heavy red at 45.19. So there's a pretty decent chance that we'll run this down to 45.19 and bounce off 45.19. And you see some of the contracts were removed there because we went from red to orange. And so it's just sort of is declining a little bit. But so we have an orange here, so 45.20. And that's where that red line was before. So 45.20 may end up being a support. There's 190 contracts chilling there. It's not particularly overwhelmingly powerful, but it's something. And there it is. All 190 of those get filled. Pulling back to 45.18 would be the next support line, if you will, in terms of where a lot of contracts are sitting. So that's how I've been using it. It's just sort of like something that I've been using to determine order flow, not only the direction of the order flow, but also the amount of orders sitting at a particular price level. I look for yellows and turning to red, big liquidity coming up too, so price will head to that. And just to be clear, Pawn, are you talking about Bookmap or like TTM or something? I just want to be clear. Is liquidity being created on the way up and supply being taken on the way down? I'm thinking the other way around, but I'm so confused on it. 45.10.25 is a previous low. Yeah, Bookmap. Yeah, okay. I think Bookmap personally, it kind of feels like it's taking the trading world by storm right now. I think it very much is on trend, and I feel like a lot of people are jumping on the Bookmap train right now very quickly. Kind of use time and sales and level 2 for that. Yeah, so it is that Tiny. It's like that exactly. It's level 2 and time and sales combined into one, and shown and projected on a visual price chart. That's all it is. It's actually nothing. It's a little bit more than that, but that's what it is. Is that exact thing? It's level 2 and time and sales projected onto a price chart with heat maps. So there's a pullback up to the VWAP, bounced off that 45.19 like we talked about, and let's see if we have any trade ops here. So this one here was actually pretty decent. It was more powerful than these other ones that have bounced along this VWAP. We've bounced here on the VWAP now on 10-second chart 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And yes, these were below it, but pretty close to it. And we're rejecting at the 200 moving average. We're actually rejecting before that. Really rejecting at 23.75, which was that original support level. So this is pulling back again. Heavy on the sell side. I mean, you see how many contracts. So, Tiny, just in case you're curious, this here, the COB here in column 1 is how many contracts is at that price. So this is how many sell orders there are at this price, or I should say contracts at that price, not necessarily sell orders, but just contracts. And then this here on the right side, this is the cumulative amount of contracts. So this is everything at 45.21, 45.21.25, 21.50 accumulated up here on this side. So you can sort of see just the outsizing of the chart there in and of itself is kind of its own little indicator. Right now, 45.18 is the red line on the charter. And I could see a pullback to about 45.18. Right now, the 5200 moving average crossover on the 10-second chart, which is one of the best indicators. Personally, I think it's one of the strongest ones for my own strategy, is at 45.21.3 and 45.24. So they have a little bit of time. They're about $2.75 diverged here. we can sort of calculate and figure out how long it will take to get there. But you can see that the 50 moving average is working its way backwards or going down. So that's really not good in terms of for long traders. So 3 seconds left on this. Okay, so 23.97 minus 21.14 is 283. Okay, so wait for the next one. Here's the next one. Okay, that's 23.94 minus 21.06. So 288. So the last one prior to that was 284. So you can see we're continuing to decline at a 4 cents divergence toward the downside. I kind of wish I had something that just did that math on its own. There's all these little things that you do in trading that it's like if there was just something that just automatically did this, it would just save extra steps, and then you're just processing the solutions instead of solving the problems that process the solutions. And so I just think that it would be really valuable to get additional information like this. But you know, have you heard that little that was this liquidity coming in right there, actually right here, this arrow, and that's just an indicator of higher volume pushing towards the downside. If you hear the bell ring to the upside, it's higher volume to the upside. The bell ring is like ring, and the liquidity down is like boom. This is something I set up years ago on my TOS. So we pulled through 45.18, and now we're looking at 45.16-ish area. It's pretty heavy on the sell side. You see buyers were at 102K in volume, sellers at 108K. We got about 7,000 more contracts on the sell side. That's pretty heavy, switching towards the sell. Coming up here, it's past 8 o'clock. So we'll see what 8:30 brings us. This is pulled back pretty heavily, and for short traders, I'm sure this looks great. I would really love to build my skill as a short trader, but I've spent so much time on long trading that I think that if I were to build my skill in short trading, I'd have to do it in paper trading for a few months. It's color coded with crayons. Exactly. Level 2 can be manipulated. Yes, 100%. Time and sales never lies. Also correct. Here's what I love about Bookmaps. I can see when the level 2 is being manipulated. They actually have training on that on their YouTube channel. They're like, how can we spot spoofing using Bookmaps? So they actually teach you how to find when the level 2 is being manipulated on their YouTube channel using Bookmap. And I have personally used it given the strategy that they described. And I will do my best to explain it, but obviously they are going to be the ones who explain it best. But what they talked about was that you'll see a ton of liquidity come into a particular price point. Let's just say 22.75, and you'll see like huge amounts of contracts show up right here for a brief moment. And as the price gets towards it, you'll see those contracts will drop off shortly before the price moves actually to that point. And that's just a very brief explanation. They were much better at explaining it, but they did sort of talk about how to spot that spoofing. Okay, so we're getting a little pop here off this 45, 16, 50 area. That was actually a 12 tick bounce there. It was a very nice move. So it looks to me like we may come up and test the 200 moving average there at 2290. We're not particularly outsized now on the sell order side. Let's see what's going on with the actual orders. It's about 5K contract difference. So still pretty heavy in terms of the actual sells. The actual buys and sells. 45.20 may end up being a price level that we got to watch here. It's kind of minimal in terms of what's actually available in volume right there, but that doesn't mean it won't just drop down. We've got strong contract support at 45.16, decent at 45.17, a little bit at 45.18, and then up here at 20 in the 23s, but not heavy up there. It's only about 1,800 contracts at 23.50 in total. I kind of look for where 1,000 contracts is, because I think 1,000 contracts is pretty easy to fill. 45.22 is where that's at, right on that VWAP zone. So not TTM, sorry. 200 moving average at 2260, while the 50 is at 1954. Let's see where we go on the next candle. Next candle went to 55. The other one went to 2257. So that's what we want to see. We want to see inclining 50 moving average and declining 200 moving average. So this looks like this may end up being this support level. And we may end up getting a decent bounce off this toward the upside. If we get a pull back to 45.18, I might take like one contract. But I don't think that that's going to happen. We're already up quite a bit. A little worried about 2250. That's a VWAP, and that's also where the 200 moving average is. So kind of wish I joined on this pullback here on 1975. I think that we may get this trend reversal toward the upside now. Just checking in. Wow, there's too many comments for me to get back to you at the moment. All right, Pawn, see you. Have a good one. Resistance up at 24. About 1,500 contracts there, and a lot of contracts through 23 to 24. So I want to see a pullback to about either the VWAP or the 50 moving average, right around 45.20-ish. There's the pullback. Gonna check bookmap for the pull. 45.18 is still a decent level of support. We're coming up on 8:30. About 8:15 right now. Oh my gosh. You can get off that clock. Just wanted to look at the clock once. Kept popping up over. All right, I'm going to join the bid right here. See if I can get one contract entry
Order
at 21. And I might begin to average into this. We'll see. I'm only in this one contract, so I'm going to be playing it a little safe. Kind of heavy sell orders up there at 23, 50, 24. I pulled back to 20. So about 4 ticks below our buy. And then so if we get to pull back to like 21, I'll probably take another contract. And a standing buy order at 20.75, which would be a pullback to like a decent little pullback. Might see some resistance along 23 up to about 25. It's not overwhelming. It's about 2,000 contracts. Still large enough though to be resistance.
Order filled.
There's the additional contract there. Down 62.50, 20.75. Too much sell off here. I'm gonna consolidate these at 22. Wow, holy crap, that's a lot of sell off. Yeah, sold off pretty heavily there on the VWAP. Down 287.50 in this, still up on the day. Where's our 50 moving average at? 2023. Gonna join the bid here.
Order filled.
So another entry at 17.50 and putting that exit at, I'm gonna move all these orders to 21.25. Damn, now down 450 on this. Oh, 77 on trailing. It's a little more pullback than I was intending to see. 17.50, now pulling back to 16. Wow, 15. Down 675 in this trade. Watching this trailing max, 645. This is putting me red on the day. This was way more sell-off than I was expecting. And I did average into this, unfortunately. So I should have got out when I had that opportunity up there, the 200 moving average. Didn't expect it to hold on to that much resistance. Was expecting at least a push up to 23. This is way too many contracts against us at the moment. Down 825 in this. Holy crap. What's our average? 1975 is the average that we're in. I'm trying to get out at 21.25. We're going to need to see a pretty large freaking rip for that. So this was me anticipating the 5200 cross way too early, by the way. 200 moving averages here at 2075 versus 1827. Get above 1750 would be nice. Right now, our moving averages are not particularly in the best directions. We do have 35 crossing above 26. That's a small constellation. So the moving average now at 2075, and this at 1785, 1786. Some resistance right there at 17. Definitely should have been thinking short, not long. I tried to warn. Yeah. Well, I was looking at that turnaround. I was looking at that crossover there. I was way too early for this. I do think that we will get a surge upward, but the Q is really how much surge. 21 has heavy resistance, 1,700 contracts. 20 has some resistance, about 1,200 contracts. 21 getting even more. That's about 2,000 contracts there. 20 alleviating some. So we're gonna need that crossover, and I don't know. I think that we need to. I honestly think that the chart needs to push up to about 24. Volume push. I'm moving my sell order up to 2250. The reason why I'm doing this is because we had this resistance at 22 before. We've got some of the lanes are starting to clear up a little bit. There is 21 is kind of heavy resistance. Nine is above 12. 26 crossover as well. Next thing I want to see is the 35 crossing above the 50. So that's the next moving average I want to see for confirmation. After that, so we got the 200 moving average dipping below the VWAP. That's a good thing for long. So next I want to see 35 above the 50 and then 912 get above this 200 moving average here. 200 moving average acting is a little extra strong support. We got about 1,400 contracts at 21. Now 1,500, 1,600. I want to see 21 alleviate some. That pulled up to our break-even point at 1975. Maybe we should have got out at break-even. There's a lot of liquidity there at 45.15. I definitely don't want to see this pull back that far. Yeah, we got to break through 20. Kind of a psychological level there. Well, there's almost 3,000 contracts to get through in order to get to where I'm intending to go. Bookmap showed no liquidity up and a ton down on that move, was what I was trying to say. Okay. I'm still not fully versed in Bookmap. I'm trying my best to fully understand it, but right now it's kind of do it as I go. learn as I go. We really need this 5,200 moving average cross. Like, this is honestly what this whole move is waiting on. 1770 and 1961. So they're about $2 away. I really don't want this to pull back to 45.15. I want this to push up off of 17. So 1750, 18, that's the area I really want this to push above. Back above the 50 moving average is what I want to see. There's a red and yellow. I hope that continues. Hope is not a strategy, just to be absolutely clear, but doesn't mean I can't feel it. EMA 35 and EMA 50 are almost in the same spot. $17.34.35. About $2 divergence on the 5,200. Good amount of liquidity showing up there at 45.16. So here's this test of this 200 moving average again. This time we're getting in on a fresh cyan. It's up at about 19, 45.19. We got to break through 20 and the VWAP and the 200 moving average. We got a lot of levels to break through here. EMA 35 is on approach to cross over the 50. That's one thing that I would like to see, one bullish confirmation. 50's at 1782 and 200 is at 1933. Now 1932 and 1785, getting closer. It's still a sketch whether or not this crossover will actually happen. 45.16 just has a ton of contracts sitting at it. And I really don't like that. I would love those contracts to move up to 17. They're standing pretty strong there at 16 though. Now we're at 1920 for the 200 moving average. And can't really tell where the 50's at. He's at 1780. I can't really tell. Yeah, 1780 and 1918. So $2 and some change. It's less than that. 1915 minus 1785. It's 130 difference now. It's a heck of a lot better than 285, 288 that we started this at. But still, I shouldn't have taken the initial trade at where it was at. It was just too early. We're here at 8:30. This is the liquidity's time. So we'll see what happens if we get a push. Hopefully to the upside, not the downside. I would like to see if the day continues bullish, because we had so many bearish days last week, so it would be really just a nice, just nice, honestly, to have a bullish day where it stays bullish on the day. Just be a nice relief. Pulling out to the 1 minute side. Yeah, pulling out to the 1 minute side. I don't know if I might end up cutting this. We got about 2,000 contracts at 45.20. It became kind of heavy on the sell side again. TTM's at 1.6 on the 1 minute side. Let's check the 20-second chart. Get some fade away. Looks like we should have tried to get out of 45.20 right here. Or at break even. Because now we're down pretty heavily. Yeah, we're too far down. I'm gonna have to take the cut. 82, 420. Divergence increased on the 5,200 moving average. 18 is now sort of the resistance zone. So that's the 200 moving average right there. Here at 835, TTM's at 2.0 on the 1 minute side. $1.5. In reality, I should have just shorted and flipped my strategy on its head and just shorted on the initial cross downward. The reason why I don't take that initial cross, though, sometimes it crosses, finds support immediately, and then crosses back. So we're getting another push towards this 200 moving average on the 10-second side, which has proven to be pretty strong resistance. Still wanted to try to get out of 2250, but I don't know if that's reality. Because this 200 moving average has been acting as too heavy of resistance. 1640 and 1816. 1813. 1642. From 71 now. Still about 8,000 more contracts on the sell side. We finally got above the 200 moving average there for the first time. I think that's the first time. There was this one moment where we did for a brief second. So we got above it twice. So this time actually looks like it could do something. We got to get above VWAP for this to really begin to turn around. 1682. 1689 and 1805. $116 difference. Closest that we've come. 35 finally crossing above it. 2250 was my original intention to get out. See if that still holds any validity. There's VWAP there. 2250 has 1,900 contracts at it. Currently, my sell order is at 2175, which is about 1,500 contracts to get through. More contracts pulling in on the sell side. You can see quite a lot of resistance there in the 20s. 35 finally crossed above the 50. That's a good sign. 9 and 12 crossing above the 200. That's also a good sign for bullish. 1745, 1750 or so. It was about 55 cents or so away from that initial crossover. I don't know. What do y'all think about 2250? Or should we try and take our profits where we're at right now? Yeah, that makes sense. Where it wants to go instead. I'm gonna probably keep it at 2175. It's just been too long of a trade. And that would still be pretty heavy in order to get past that point. So this was 20 and a quarter. So we did actually get into profit here for a little bit, for a second. Only like 2 ticks, but you know, profit is better than loss. Very close to the cross, not there yet. I put my order back at 2250 because I think that we're going to get a bounce here off of the VWAP with this crossover. And 2350 looks like where we have about 1,500 contracts at 2350. So 2250 is now the intended exit. We tapped 21 and a quarter. Finally got green in this trade at the moment. That hit 21 and a quarter before pulling back a little bit. 5200 cross did happen. We need to get above the VWAP now. ES is up about $21 in the day. The VWAP and 4520 are kind of strong. Coming up at 8:45 here. This is usually a good volume push time. Check the 20-second chart. This is running into resistance at the 20-second 200 moving average. That's going to be our next area to break. Is 2075. Pulling down some. Should have got out of 21 and a quarter and just alleviated my stress. I really feel like this is going to try to go to 2350 though. Currently a break even. Entrance average is 1975. About 45 seconds to 8:45. Trying to decide what I want to do with this. By the way, if y'all chilling, hanging out, make sure you like and subscribe and ring the bell for notices. We do have 5 people here. It'd be great if we had at least 5 likes. Trying to get this push to 2250, man. Yeah, there's the top of the band. So honestly, I want to see it go to 2350, which is where this area has been for quite some time. There's a book imbalance of about 25%. I don't fully understand this yet. 21 and a quarter, again, hitting some resistance, which it has hit 3 times now, 21 and a quarter. All right, we can break through 21. Come on. We'll need about 400 buys, 400 contracts bought in. Come on, we could run to 23. Let's check this 1 minute side. 1 minute's cooling slightly. I don't want to see that. I want to see this 1 minute 26 get above the 50. Currently 21 and a quarter is the upper level of this. Can we get our CTM, please? Come on. Come on. Oh my god, this is freaking me out. Give me my TTM. Wow. Finally. Oh my gosh. So TTM 3 is at negative 2.7. I wish the TTM would load fast. All right, so 20-second chart, we got 9 and 12 popping above the 200 moving average. That's absolutely what I want to see. There's 21. Coming up on 9 o'clock. 8:48. There's 2150 so far. So we did pop through 21 and a quarter finally for a brief second. I'm going to try to get out of 21 and a quarter. Probably should have already tried. Top of the band of the Bollinger Band of the 1 minute is now at 2250. So where our sell order is. But I just really wanted to have seen this push already. TTM's at 0.8. I moved my sell order to 21 and a quarter. It could rip to 2250, but I've just been in this thing for too long, and I don't have any more patience for it. Just want to see this thing hit 21 and a quarter and let me out. Took it off there, made 75 bucks. It might rip, but I just like I'm starting to get nervous. It's just been way too long, and this should have broken out so many times. It still hasn't. So I feel like I'm gonna be like, I should have kept it on. But I don't care. I just am grateful to be out with green because it just was way too much for way too long. There's 2150, 21 and a quarter. There it is. There's my 2250. Oh my gosh. I just got nervous, man. It was like way too long. Way too long. I can't believe I took that off just a little early, but well, way too early. But man, it just was so long. I couldn't believe how long that just traded along the view app for like seemingly like half hour, 45 minutes, almost an hour. Like this thing was here. I mean, I don't know, man. This is like 20 plus minutes. It's just like way too long. That's too bad though, because we only made 75 on that, and we could have made 412.50, which was our actual intention. So up 388.28 on the day. I feel I was getting nervous, man, because I was like, man, I feel like this thing it's either gonna dump or rip. And it just was there for just, I don't know, like what, 40 minutes trading along that? Way too long. And I just didn't want to see a contract dump on me. 154 to 161 on the actual sells. Time it sells. That's crazy. I just needed to hold out for about 30 more seconds. Let's see, it was 10, 20, 30. About 40 more seconds is how long I needed to hold out. So I held out for like a half hour. Actually, I held out for like an hour. When did this buy take place? So my first buy took place at 8:17. I held out for 40 minutes or so. 43 minutes, only to get out 40 seconds too early. Just needed to hold out for 44 minutes. Crazy. Anyway, count is down about 650, 649, up 389 on the day, though. So apparently it needed the 22nd crossover in order to get the rip. Usually that one's not nearly as important as the 10 in the 1 minute. I'm pretty miffed about that, honestly. But like I said, I wouldn't be upset about it. So I'm not. Or won't be. I'm gonna zoom out here and take a look at this longer term. So we're getting a cyan switch on the 3 minute side, which is actually the one that I closed out on, unfortunately. We're above the Bollinger Band on the 3 minute side. Might be looking for a pullback to about, let's see, maybe a bounce off 23. See if we get a pullback to 23. Yeah, that'd be about the 9 moving average as well. So we'll put 2 contracts sitting at 23. I don't know if we'll pull back that far, but if we do, that's the intended entry. So we never got a pullback. Pretty much just pulled back to a doji and then ripped up. I was looking for it to pull back to about the 9, but never did. A lot of contracts chilling at 30, 45, 30 again. I actually don't. I guess part of it's probably psychology, but I think that I think it also has to do as well with the trailing max. I think the trailing max sometimes throws me out for a loop as well. So I definitely agree with you on the psychology aspect of things. The sizing, yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. But also at the same time, like I sometimes feel like the sizing itself, like going for one contract at a couple of ticks or something, it's really demotivates me too. So this is weird psychology give and take for me. I'd like to see like a 3-minute pullback. I wonder if we can get a bounce off the 9. 9's at 24.50. Oh my gosh, Trader 8 is so slow. Sometimes. So that pulled back to like 24.50, but I was trying to load the 10-second chart and just pretty much missed the whole move. That's annoying. So I was going to try to take the 9 EMA bounce on the 1-minute side, which coincidentally is about the 50 to the 35 on the 10. And I was going to take that on the 10-second. But right now, looks like we're probably going to get a pullback for a little bit. So. I think I'm starting to get decision fatigue. So I have to take my profits, head out. This is very true. Yeah, I think I'm starting to get decision fatigue, so I think I'm gonna have to call it right here. Up 388 on the day. Plus, I made quite a few trading mistakes today. Gratefully, they all turned out green, but that's simply because I didn't cut. Apparently, one of these is a loss. I think it's just because one of the contracts I bought higher because I didn't actually take a loss. So, but yeah, I think I'm gonna walk. I'll be back here tomorrow. But I'm at max on decisions, so I can't really. I don't think I should keep on trading. So yeah, I'll be back here tomorrow, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 market time, and I might trade later today, but I'm gonna need to take a break from the chart for a little while, and probably get some breakfast. Excuse me, reassess. So much love and appreciation, y'all. I'll jump into our Discord community and add add my results and reflection on the day. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and or well, I'll see you in the Discord community right now. Much love. Peace.